exposing the secrets behind successful businesses, starts with a simple click. Welcome to Business Diaries.
Gross national product. It sounds quite grand, doesn't it? Often we just call it GNP. GNP measures a country's total economic output. This output comes from its own people and its own companies, wherever they are. So not just what's made inside the country, but all over the globe by its nationals. The national part is very important here. It means we are looking at the citizens, people who belong to a particular country, even if they happen to live far away, or if they are working in another land. Their earnings still count towards their home nation's GNP. It truly is about their nationality. This is the main idea to grasp. Now, what about the product in GNP? This refers to all the goods and services. Goods are physical things you can often touch. Things like cars, computers, or even a loaf of bread. Services are actions that people or businesses provide. Think of a teacher teaching, a doctor healing, or a bank providing financial advice. All these valuable things add up together. So GNP is the grand total value of everything a country's citizens produce. This is usually measured over one full year. It doesn't matter if they are working at home or if they are busy creating value abroad. GNP aims to show the nation's true economic strength. This strength is earned by its people worldwide. It gives us a picture of their global reach. Now, you might have also heard of GDP. GDP stands for Gross Domestic Product. It sounds quite similar to GNP, it's true. But there is a very important difference. GDP measures everything that is made a country, only within its geographical borders or lines. It doesn't matter who actually made it. This distinction is really key to understanding. So let's make it clear. GNP is about does the producing. It follows the citizens, the nationals of a country. GDP, on the other hand, is about it stays strictly within the country's physical boundaries. Think of GNP as tracking the team of citizens, and GDP as tracking activity on the home field. One focuses on nationality, the other on location. Here is a simple example to help. Imagine a large Japanese car company. This company decides to build a big factory in America. The cars made in that American factory, they are counted as a part of America's GDP because they are produced on American soil. But the profits that flow back to the Japanese company in Japan, those profits are part of Japan's GNP. Let's try one more example. Think about a famous Irish musician. Suppose she lives and records her music in Germany, the money she earns from her music sales. This income contributes to Ireland's GNP because she is an Irish citizen, a national of Ireland. But her actual work of recording in Germany, that activity adds to Germany's GDP, its domestic product. So why do we bother with GNP? Why is this particular number important to know? GNP tells us a slightly different economic story. It's a story about a nation's people, its citizens, and it also tells us about their businesses, specifically their economic activities around the entire world. It shows how much income or money flows back into the country from these global activities. Who finds GNP figures useful then? Well, governments certainly do, for one. They often want to see their country's total earnings, not just what is happening inside their own borders. Economists also use GNP quite a lot. They use it to compare different countries and to study how international business really works. It helps them get a better sense of overall economic health. Large international groups also pay attention. Organizations like the World Bank, for instance, or the International Monetary Fund known as the IMF. They often look closely at a country's GNP. It helps them to see a nation's true income. This information is very useful for making big decisions like providing loans or offering financial aid. GNP can paint a more complete economic picture. For some countries, GNP is especially revealing. Think about nations where many citizens work overseas. Countries like the Philippines or Bangladesh, for example. Many of their people work abroad and send money home. This money, called remittances, can be a very large sum. This money is counted as part of their country's GNP. So GNP shows their real economic situation more accurately, often much better than GDP alone would be able to. GNP is not exactly a brand new idea. The need to measure a country's whole economy grew. This became especially clear after some very big events. Events like the Great Depression in the 1930s, and also during the Second World War. Countries realized they needed to know their economic strength. They needed to manage their resources much better. So these kinds of economic measures were carefully developed. For quite a long period of time, actually. GNP was often considered the main star. Many countries used it as their primary indicator to show how well their economy was performing. But then, things started to shift a little. Many nations began to focus more on GDP instead. GDP clearly shows jobs and economic activity at home, which of course is also very important to understand. Let's consider a real-world situation. Take a country like Ireland, for example. Many large multinational companies have operations there. They are attracted by certain business conditions. The output of these foreign-owned companies in Ireland boosts Ireland's GDP, but much of the profit goes back to the company's home countries. So Ireland's GDP can be much higher than its GNP. This really highlights the difference between the two measures. So, to bring all these points together, GNP measures what a country's citizens and businesses earn. It does not matter where in the world they are earning it. It is different from GDP, which focuses on location. GDP looks at what is produced inside a country's borders. Both of these numbers are very useful tools. GNP helps us see a nation's total income from its people and its firms across the entire globe.